What's up, y'all? Welcome to another successful Sundays. I'm of course Coach AJ, Dope Life Coach, the dopest life coach out there. And welcome to the successful Sundays. Before we kick into the topic of today of, you're not being too loud, you're just starting off. I want to just clear the energy because we are entering into a new week as always. So we're gonna take 3 deep breaths. I invite you to do so. You can close down your eyes just to kind of center yourself, relax your jaw, relax your forehead. And then we're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh it out. In through your nose, sigh it out. One more time, in through your nose, sigh it out. Okay. Again, every time I do that, it feels really good. So today we're kind of like piggybacking off of the podcast episode that we had this week. I wanted to go a little bit deeper in it because it's a very near and dear topic with me. Sometimes you may feel that you're being too loud. You're trying to dim your light, you're trying to mute yourself, trying to silence yourself, you're trying to remove your own voice because people around you may think that you're doing too much, you're being too loud, too on the scene, but in an odd way, you're just getting started. The season that you're in right now is your loud season. It's the season where you start getting your voice maybe back or for the very first time. It's the season where the world is showing you we need you to stay in this loud season. We do not need you to just like keep this silence. We need you to be loud and loud as possible. And perhaps that is just part of your path and part of your purpose of being here on earth by you just being in your loud season. So I want to go ahead and get into it and just start with a bit of reflection for a moment of how I want you to think of how many times you've been told maybe you're doing too much while you're just getting started in your self-improvement or actively healing, or you're being told that you think you're big and bad, or those type of lines that you've been hearing or have been voiced to you. For a moment, I want you to remember this, that it's your responsibility to be your unapologetic self. It's your responsibility for you to be your authentic self. Again, your job and your purpose is for you to just exist. And your job and your purpose is for you to exist authentically, however that looks for you. And you'll know because it feels freeing, it feels real, it feels, well, authentic, right? It feels like home of you just being you. And part of being your loud season is also entering your freeing season, entering the season where you start placing yourself more at the top of your priority list. So, although this is your loud season, it's not just your loud season because you're chasing a whole bunch of noise. That is not the case. But you're finally ready to carry the light that you have been craving for so long. You're finally ready to carry the abundance, the peace, the love, the self-care, the calmness of it all. You're ready. That is part of your loud season. And it sounds kind of like the tone of my voice right now. It's calm, it's cool, it's collect. Although it's loud to some people because it disrupts patterns, it disrupts rooms, it disrupts energies that are so fixated on how you have been moving for so long that now that you're disrupting the pattern of how they see you, they think you're being too much and too loud. But let's take a step back. Let's have a little bit of a mindset shift and evaluation, okay? Because part of you going into your loud season is you continuously peeling back the layers of who you are and also the things that you're no longer willing to accept. The things that you may have put up with in the past and you're like, "Ah, we ain't doing this anymore." It's going even deeper. It could even be like you realizing that you've been playing small with yourself and you're like, "We're not doing that anymore." You've been conditioned to believe that shrinking yourself keeps you as safe as possible because in those moments, it avoids the conflict of how people may be having internal issues with themselves in their own environment, in their own life, and they're pushing it against what you're doing. But here's the thing, dimming your light doesn't help the world at all. We need you always in your loud season because that means you're functioning almost at your best self. So imagine if we're in this world right now and we need you to be in that loud season, your authentic self, because if you are in your authentic moment, your authentic chapter, That means you're able to help others. You're service to others because at the end of the day, that's what life's all about, right? To be as of service to other people. And it's taking a step back from being likable and being more valuable in who you are and being honest in who you are and who you're about to, and who you want to and you crave to become. But if that is a lie, okay, let's just say shrinking doesn't protect your peace. It actually adds more conflict to your life, to be honest. Shrinking does not protect your peace, it adds more conflict because now you have to play a role that's not you. You have to put a mask on that doesn't fit. And then at the end of the day or at the end of the week or whatever, you feel so exhausted from playing this character that you have no business playing because you're afraid of being in your loud season, dealing with the conflict, dealing with people trying to dim your light and shrink you and put you in a box. But here's the thing, from this day forward, that box, you're blowing the lid off of it. You're releasing yourself out of that box. You're turning on the lights and being as shine as bright as you need to do. Who gives a rat's ass? Whoever feels uncomfortable about you being in your loud season, that has nothing to do with you. Has nothing to do with you. Because again, shrinking doesn't protect your peace, it prevents you from your purpose. And on this earth, we need you to be yourself. You have a role to play. You're not here by mere hapstance. You have a role that we need you to play. We need you to step into your purpose. And I know people talk about purpose. And again, I'm gonna take a massive step back, as I said in the beginning. Your purpose is aligned with you being your authentic self. The moment that you align your purpose with you just existing in the world, however that looks, however you feel comfortable, where you don't have to wear a mask in any way, shape, or form, you will realize I'm playing my role. Take me for example. I used to run away from being a coach. I was told many times, you should do it, you should do it, go, go, go. I was like, hell no, I ain't doing that. Give that to somebody else, not me. Until I said, okay, let me just see what the self-improvement thing's all about. And in the end, it saved my life in many ways, time and time again. It put me on track of where I always need to be. It now allowed me to realize why it's so important for me to be a coach. And all it took was for me to be myself, to step into that and me stepping into the path that is my purpose of me being authentically me. So playing small doesn't serve a thing or anyone around you or in your life or on this world, but it definitely does rob people of your gift. It withholds the power of your story. Again, I'm going to say this many times in today's live, get annoyed as much as you want. Hopefully it gets drilled into this lovely brain of yours that the world needs you to live in your authentic self. The world needs you to be the most purposeful version of who you are. We have a lot of fake people in this world. We have a ton. We don't need you to do that in any way, shape, or form. So, a couple of ways that you could possibly be shrinking yourself. You overexplain yourself when you should just say no, and no is your final sentence because you're making decisions that make other people comfortable. How exhausting is that? Very exhausting and annoying as hell. You say yes to the things that deplete you and exhaust the ever loving shit out of you. Woo, that one. And my people pleasers, please rise because this is where we actually do this all the time. We say yes because we say yes to the things that we don't want to do just because we are feared of the reaction and we just or we get like a nice little high from saying yes so that they know that oh okay I'm pleasing them so it's cool. Your successes in your life and it's often softened immediately. So let's say for example you tell somebody really good news and they're just like okay that's okay. Meanwhile you tell a whole bunch of other people and they're like yo that's amazing that's great. Also, stay away from those people. Don't ever tell them good news ever again. Just saying. Uh, you're withholding your own joy because you don't want others to feel left out. I know exactly what that feels like. I know exactly what that feels like. And it's uncomfortable and it's annoying. And eventually you become a little bit resentful. It happens. It does happen. And you're editing your own opinions so you don't ruffle any feathers in the room. You feel so strongly about something, but you're kind of like sugarcoating it so that you don't ruffle any feathers in the conversation or the environment. We do these things to it's it's not wise or kind to do it. We're actually being disrespectful to ourselves and the universe, I personally believe. But what we're really doing is we're hiding again. behind that mask that we're putting on and then taking off whenever we're trying to lay down and rest. We're editing ourselves to avoid the rejection of maybe a particular person. And typically it does align with fatigue in the end because you become so exhausted for constantly doing it. And to the point where again, you could become resentful. And it gets so damn annoying. So now that we're able to identify it, let's get into how you can work and be in your loud season because that's what we're all about, right? I want you to start getting clear and concentrate on what is rooted in the identity that you want to uphold. And again, it's your authentic self. It should feel natural. It should feel freeing. Because loud doesn't have to be just adjusting the volume. It's about clarity. It's about your identity. It's about alignment. Again, when you're going through your purpose, finding your authentic self, it should feel like a piece of you is just coming together. Alignment. So here's how you could start becoming more louder in your season, okay? Number 1, name what you know is true about you. Stop waiting for others to confirm what God already has whispered in your ear. Stop waiting for others to confirm what God has already whispered in your ear. Call yourself what you are before the world catches up to you. Call yourself what you are before the world catches up. So for me, if I'm a dope individual, I'm a dope individual. The world has to catch up to me. Just saying. Number 2, stop explaining what's already been assigned to you. You don't got to explain it to nobody. Me personally, it's between you, God, universe, your ancestors, and maybe one good person you know that will understand where you come from. Because you don't need to justify your own light. And you don't need to earn the space God has already gave you. You don't need to earn it. You just got to step into and embrace it and protect it and love it. Number 3, decide to walk in a room with your shoulders back and your head held high. Loudest begins with your posture and how you come in, and sometimes even just how you shake hands. A strong handshake can go a long way. Carry your presence like on purpose because it is. I would say this also start dressing in the role that you know that you're in your loud season. Look damn good. And by the way, you could do that at a cheap cost. I'm just saying. Let your boundaries speak louder than your words. You could set boundaries all you want, but if you're not standing on them, they don't mean anything. Okay. So saying no with peace is louder than saying yes through resentment. I'm gonna say that one more time. Saying no with peace is louder than screaming yes through resentment. Remember I talked about resentment a few minutes ago? Yeah. Own the parts of you that used to scare you. Be bold, be brave, be brilliant, be extraordinary. Stop calling those places too much because you're not too much. You just got to find the right people and the right person that will love you for just existing. Just gonna throw that one out there. So I want to go on a little bit of a reflection for a moment as we kind of close off. And I want you to ask yourself with space and like just ask yourself with kindness and compassion, where am I still shrinking to feel safe? And you could use this as a journal prompt. Where in your life that you are shrinking yourself in order to feel safe? Who told me I had to be quiet to be loved? And I'm going to tell you right now, they were lying. Again, people will love you for just existing. You just got to find your people, find your tribe. I don't care what anyone says. It is true. What would shift if I truly believed I was built to carry the light I was given? What would shift in your life? And I want to add to that, there's going to be some shifts that will force people to exit, force environments to no longer fit and hold your light. And I'm going to tell you this, it's okay. It's okay. Stepping in your loud season is not always comfortable, but if you want to carry that life that you've been craving for so many years, so long, you got to do the uncomfortable thing sometimes. What does my loud season actually look like in my walk, my talk, and my choices? That one's important. I kind of talked about this before in my previous lives, how you should sometimes close your eyes down and sit down with your future self. Just have a conversation with them. they'll answer all these questions for you. They'll show you. Subconsciously, you already know what it is that you want. You just got to start living it. And lastly, do I believe I can fully seen and still fully safe? Did I write that? Sorry. Do I believe I can be fully seen and still be fully safe? And I want you to think about it this way. You can, when you're writing this out, you can, but I'm gonna challenge you a little bit more. What does safety even mean to you? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And I don't mean just like physically safe. I mean emotionally safe, energy. You're safe. Your mindset is safe. Your thoughts, your heart is safe. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Let the silence do some of the work here. These are the moments where I want you to sit down and really open up your heart and just think. You could journal it out, but I want you to like just take a moment. Even if you don't journal out, you just have a conversation with yourself and you answer those questions. I'm going to put in the description below so you have them. But really and truly, like, what do they all mean to you? So this week I want to challenge you just a little bit because I love challenges and you know this. I want you to choose one thing this week that embodies your loud season. What does it look like? What does it feel like? Hell, what does it smell like? What does it taste like? Speak up where you would probably shrink, whether it's at work, at home, maybe find your voice. And the way to practice that is in your mirror, in your bedroom, in your car, in your bathroom. How would you sound? How would you reciprocate a question that may be a little bit uncomfortable? Say no where you used to feel overextended. Maybe sometimes you have been wanting to say no, but you feel like you are obligated to say yes. I think we've talked about people pleasers. We've all kind of been there before. So in those areas of your life, where do you feel that you actually feel so overextended that you could have actually said no, but you keep saying yes? And say yes where you used to second guess. Like, let's say you wanted to take a class and you're like, I don't know. Go and take the class." Let's say that you wanted to just take 30 minutes to yourself, and take those 30 minutes to yourself. That's what you're gonna do this week. Or second last one, share a truth you've been sitting on. You don't have to say to anyone. You could do a audio, journal, video, or just write it out or just say it out loud. Just allow it to come up. Lastly, walk into a room with a knowing, not not to need any form of approval. Again, posture. Head held well, not like high like this, but head held high, good posture, look good, feel good, smell good. Because of when you do all that, you feel good. That's for sure. It's not about being perfect. It's more about being presentful and being powerful in your loud season. And if you feel like you need to wear bright yellow, by all means. But if you feel like you just want to feel good and look good, whatever that case is, by all means do that too. All right. So I just want to close off by saying your loud season is yours. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be aligned. It just has to be authentic. You have been put on this world with a gift, with a purpose. And we need you to live out that gift and that purpose that you have and that life that you have that's already been created for you. The path has already been created. You just got to step into it. In order to receive into your loud season, you have to become the person to uphold it. And it does take a bit of work. It does take a little bit of a tussle, and sometimes it's uncomfortable. But it's not about just being in the spotlight, but it's more about you being strong enough to hold the light that you're craving so much. That light that you've always wanted to hold and have and protect. And we're no longer going to allow people to make us feel that we are too much. And if they say you're too much, you're right. I'm too much for you. You can't afford me. And what I mean by afford, I don't mean just by money. I mean by your spirit, your energy, all of that intertwined. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, we're put on this earth to be authentically ourselves. And sometimes we're told we're too loud, quote unquote. And I beg to differ that because in many ways, maybe I need you to be loud in this season to hype me up. Maybe I need you to be loud in this season to motivate me, to inspire me. And if you're not doing your part, you are doing a disservice to the rest of us, and we need you to be as loud as possible. We need you to start standing firm. And even if a person is trying to tell you you're being too much and trying to dim your light, please just ignore them and keep going. Who cares? They got their own situation that they're dealing with. It has nothing to do with you. You need to allow your light to shine and to shine as bright as possible because this world is like literally your oyster. This world is literally your buffet. It's time for you to grab a plate and pile it up with the things that you love and the things that you like without having to wear no damn mask. All right? All right. Thank you for tuning in for another successful Sundays. Greatly, 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 greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the next episode of the Dope Life Podcast on Tuesday. I will see you here next week, and y'all know what to do. I hope at this point. Walk with peace and walk with love.